I am spikevegeta, and next up, here at Smash the Record 2016, I'm going to be showing off Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Let's get this set up. I'm actually going to be entering in with 2 players, basically just so I can get access to Cranky Kong, who is the best Kong in this game, and honestly makes it a speedrun. There are 3 Buddy Kongs in this one, as opposed to Donkey Kong Country Returns, which was the 2010 Wii release by Retro Studios, this kind of re-showing of the Donkey Kong Country trilogy from the Super Nintendo age. And yeah, so in that one there was only Diddy Kong. Here we got Diddy, Dixie, and Cranky Kong, which are all add-ons effectively that make Donkey a little bit powerful in certain areas. Diddy will give you a hover from his jetpack. Dixie gives you effectively like a double jump from her hover, which effectively renders Diddy useless above water, but that's fine. He has other uses underwater. And Cranky, who basically, if you're a big DuckTales fan, it turns us into Scrooge McDuck. So yeah, that's why he's actually going to be used for like 80% of the run. So yeah, with that, I think I'm actually ready to get going here whenever we're good on time. So let's go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, now we can see how good my load times are. One unfortunate thing just to get out of the way from the start is that while this game is awesome, it's beautiful, you can already see it's lagging a little bit, it has a lot of loading time issues, but that's okay. We'll work our way through it. A lot of it's how decent your Wii U is. Mine's bad. It doesn't matter. Anyways, so now I'm going to shake a lot with both controllers since I am in 2-player mode. I'm now going to put down the second controller, and I hopefully will not pick it up again, or I should not pick it up again for a good, 45 minutes of the run. So we're Cranky. As you can see, we can water skip. Shout out to Donkey Kong Country 3. And we are Scrooge McDuck all of a sudden. You'll see these plugs that I'm pulling up on the ground. I'm sort of jumping as I'm pulling them because that actually pulls them up a little bit faster. And I'm going to try to get a bonk here, which puts me in there. I pulled out Cranky's pogo there since that kind of deadened me at the surface of the water. And now on we go. If you are solo DK, you cannot do a infinite roll like I'm doing right now. So if you got a Buddy Kong, that allows you to make up for a lot of better spacing issues. Kind of an interesting little thing they threw in for this game is this dynamic camera angle. We don't get to see a lot of it throughout the run. I think it's actually only in 2 levels due to that's how the routing worked out. Only 2 levels see it. This is normally supposed to be a level where they also introduce you to Diddy Kong. It's sort of the World 1 works out to be a bit like a tutorial world. Oh, whoops. That's fine. We'll get through there. Where 1-1 shows you a lot of Diddy. 1-2, they kind of force Dixie upon you. And then 1-3, we check out Cranky. But Cranky, due to being able to just pogo through a lot of areas as opposed to slowly hovering in some areas, just makes him the better choice for these first couple of levels. Now that we've actually done 1-1, I'm still in 2-player mode, because at the beginning of the level you couldn't really see it because the loading screen was going. I grabbed Cranky and I put him on my back. Now I'm actually going to drop Cranky before I enter 1-2, so then I don't have to turn around and pick him up anymore. But for the rules of the category, we like to make sure that we start in 2-player mode if you're going to, do that. Let me drop my guy real quick. I think overall, 2-player strats as opposed to 1-player strats saves like 3 or 4 seconds. I actually don't know the exact amount, but it's an amount of time. It's not a big difference. So some people in the community actually decide to just go 1-player, just they don't have to mess with the second controller. However, there's a pretty big strat later on in the run that you'll see that is going to require 2 players. As you see, Cranky is unbelievably powerful because he can pogo pretty much off of everything and anything. Oh, get in there. Messed up my spacing just a little bit back there. I'm supposed to just kind of clip the edge of that platform, allowing me to roll off of that into the water. Right here, I pulled out Cranky's pogo once again right after I pounded that platform there, which By pulling out Cranky's pogo, it effectively pulled my weight back down instead of, because if I had just pushed nothing, he would have flown all the way up in the air, and that obviously wastes about a second or so. So by doing that, I can just deaden myself quicker and then move forward. By the way, never miss that bounce off the bug at the end, otherwise you're losing like 15 or 20 seconds because you have to wait for the boat to catch up to you. So this is where the 1-player route or the 2-player route, depending on what you're doing, would meet up. Because here's where they finally give you Cranky. With Cranky, even right here at the start of 1-3, by having him at the start, it's going to save you a little bit of time, where I can get my maximum height a lot sooner than I could with Dixie. And you can see how Cranky's introduced here in this tutorial level, giving you that big climb to jump up. Dixie and Cranky actually both have the same max height that they can build to, but Cranky can get there pretty much instantly compared to her. All right, so this is a pretty difficult strat. Let's see if we can get it. I need to pull up a little bit here. That's... Okay, well, I'm going to lose Cranky here. That's only going to lose me a few seconds. Okay. That bug was in a different spot than I was used to. I can go ahead and grab this Cranky barrel right here. If I had pogoed through that kind of middle section back there perfectly, then I wouldn't have had to worry about... I could have actually gotten through their damage list, and then I wouldn't have had to pick up that extra Cranky. That's okay, though. That's probably the hardest piece of platforming here in World 1. World 1 overall, like... A bad World 1, you're losing about maybe 5 to 10 seconds on a, when you're kind of an experienced level in this game. It's really after that this game really starts to pick up. All right, so with that again, we have one main level left before we move on to the boss. Again, 1-1, 1-2, and 1-3 each introduced you to Diddy, Dixie, and Cranky. Whereas right here, a lot of people's, at least I've heard, favorite parts of old DKCs were the minecart levels. So yeah, we're going to get to see one of those here right now. There's a pretty cool little trick here. It's one of the only real optimizations in the run, or in this level. Not in the whole run, this level. But we're going to skip this barrel right here. If I do it right... Ooh, okay, I actually barely got that. All right, that's fine. As long as we get it. It's overall like, so auto-scrollers are pretty weird in this game, particularly the minecart levels, because there are ways to actually, despite what I said earlier, optimize them, but it makes no sense. For the most part, you do want to jump uphill. When you're like at the bottom of a hill, you want to continue your jumping to kind of maintain that speed. But yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. We'll see in like the individual level world records that sometimes people jump, sometimes they don't. It makes no rhyme or reason. For the most part, just obviously cutting out just vertical movement going up and down, though, is a good rule to go by. Also, as you can see in that top left corner, we have 2 health instead of 1, like in Donkey Kong Country Returns, where if you ever took a hit anywhere in these levels, you just died. So yeah, we didn't want that. But it does make to where we can take some damage boost strats. Like coming up here, again, going uphill is slow, so we're just going to bash through all that crap and not worry about it. One, two, three. All right, shouts to NKB. Always try to make sure how many times you can jump there before the cutscene starts. Obviously, you don't want to pound those slot machines. The finish barrels rotate between 4 different prizes you can get. A bushel of bananas, a 1-up balloon, a banana token, which are like the currency in this game. We don't want any of those because we're never going to be going to a shop. Actually, there used to be shop strats in the run back in the day, but we found ways to just cut everything we were going to get. And the DK, the slot machine, effectively, where you can pound it up to 15 times. You'll get up to 15 of one of those 3 items. All right, so here we are with the first boss, Pompey. He's got some pretty interesting little tricks to him. Every boss in this game is unfortunately pretty long, sitting there at like 2 minutes apiece. So let's see if we can get the God caught here. That was too early. Yeah, okay. So there's 2 of these. You see these like guys with the shields at the top of the platforms. I'm going to try to like get ricocheted off of them from a specific spacing setup. That was unfortunate. All right, we'll just kill them off. Both times I went a little too early because I thought the initial fish was going to fall on top of me. That's all right. There's one other big trick later on. Hopefully we can get that. Supposed to wait for them to like land on the ground, then roll through them and do the strat. I tried to do ways to like delay it in some way, but yeah, it's a pretty precise trick, so it's hard to delay once you're committed. I know there's going to be 8 of these guys, 4, 5, 6, since I've played this game before. And oh, I miscounted. That's fine. That's commentary, kids. All right. Make sure you can count and talk and give commentary at the same time. It's pretty common once you take a hit that the next deal or hit you deal will give you a heart, making the fights relatively safe as long as you know how to play them. All right, so coming up is the early Chunky Butt number 2. It's called something else, but I don't feel like calling it that on stream. So hopefully I can chain this together properly to catch this guy very high up in the air, because as soon as you get rid of him, then that will move you on with the fight. Go from there. All right, one final hit. We're done with World 1. You can also, just like the slot machines, you can pound those guys up to 25 times. That wastes time, though. This is a speed run, but there is one boss later on that I will punch as many times as I want, because I do not like him. So yeah, moving on to World 2. So World 1, again, was kind of like the tutorial world. Not a lot, really, of like hard strats going on there. You saw there really weren't a lot of pits for me to fall into or anything. That kicks up right here. 2-1, 2-2, and 2-3 are 3 of actually the harder levels in the entire run. It's actually quite an early game gauntlet to get through if you're doing RTAs or real-time attacks, single-segment speed runs of this game. So yeah, let's see how it goes. There's going to be a lot of windmills you're going to see all over the place. I'm going to try to, like, when a windmill is moving to the right, I'm going to try to roll on it just to maintain its momentum with my own, since it's going to push me forward a little bit. It's also imperative that I don't die here, so let's see what happens. Oh, that's fine. Okay, so now we are in improv mode. Okay, that's fine. Let's just do that. I shortened up my pogo back there just a little bit. That's all right. I need to make sure I don't die. Just, I mean, obviously deaths cost you a lot of time, but also losing Cranky is awful, because these next 2 levels just don't give him to you. I got this little climbing section right here. I put on one little delay right there. It's actually possible to catch a little bit earlier cycle. All right, so this is like, it's extremely scary. Hopefully I can get this. We're supposed to ride this cart all the way down, however... All right, there we go. So doing that actually stored the momentum of that platform with my own, saving me about 1 second, and if I miss it, I lose like a minute, so shout-outs to speedrunning. From here, it's just basically a glorified auto-scroller just blasting through these barrels. All right, so a little bit of rough start at the beginning of World 2. Me getting hit there by that hoot. But we didn't lose Cranky. So the reason why Cranky is so important, once again, is because there's a lot of strats you just can't do. Particularly in this next level coming up. You're going to be introduced to the one and only animal buddy in this level, or in this game, Rambi. who kind of sucks, honestly. He's really, really bad, and Cranky does everything he can to fix him. Every time you start up a run with Rambi, it costs you about 1/4 of a second. However, if we throw in a pogo instead as we're going along, as we're making these different jumps, it completely negates that 1/4 second time loss. Also, ugh, these load times right now. I thought about asking somebody else if I could use their Wii U, but it's fine. So once again, you're going to see me like pogoing a lot. Oh, did I space this correctly? Okay, cool. All right, so this level's pretty insane. It's got 3 different momentum conservation strats. You'll see kind of a little one coming up, then a medium one later, and then a big old one after that. All right, took a hit there, but yeah, that is the first one. Completely cut that entire climbing section. By just, once again, jumping off the ends of those moving platforms just before I reach the end of them. All right. So here comes this middle one. This middle one's actually pretty difficult, so let's see if we can get it. All right, we're not going to get that, so I'm going to pull up there. That's okay because that one saves like a second. This next one's the big one. All right. Oh, are you kidding me?
You have time for a donation?
Yeah, sure.
All right, this donation comes from, guess who this is, because it's definitely not Ghost King.
Yo, what up, Ghost King?
This handsome son of a gun with an afro has gotten me into the 2 of my favorite games I've played this year, Chrono Cross and Tropical Freeze. Gotta donate for that smooth as butter voice. See you again in January, Spike. Also, shout outs to Wandering Mine and adding to the throw power.
So yeah, basically what happened there was I just timed my pogos a little bit off. If I had done that correctly, though, that entire swinging section that you saw, I could have pogoed all the way up off of those, saving about 10 seconds. Unfortunately, I pulled out my pogo then a little bit too early because I was trying to make a readjustment, and unfortunately it didn't work. Again, we didn't die, so we didn't lose a ton of time, but definitely that's something you absolutely want to hit in a full run. A full game speedrun of this. All right, so this is the first of 3 levels in the run that is based off of universal timing based on the music. So if I make one little error anywhere in this level, which judging by how we're doing so far, then I'm going to have to make adjustments all throughout the level. So hopefully we just nail it. It's a pretty scary level. Roll off of these to get some speed. So that's going to have to cause us to make some adjustments. Okay. Okay, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me, please don't hit me. We'll just roll through here. Okay, we're out of the woods. We're not quite there yet. Okay. We're into the final section. Again, as you saw, like I made one little mistake, and all of like the different like instruments in the level, everything just gets off by a little bit at that point. Always make sure you get that puzzle piece, because we have to wait anyways. Just got to go off of timing there, because then if I time that correctly, I will be able to grab that grass, saving about 1 second. If you didn't have Cranky or Dixie, that's imperative that you get that. Otherwise, you just can't get up there in 2 blows of the horn. Oh, these load times are terrible. You can roughly tell by just how often Donkey and Cranky will like lag behind a little bit. All right, so time for one of my favorite auto-scrollers of all time for sure, and probably only my second favorite one in this game. Unfortunately, the best one we will not be going to in World 4, 4-2, which if you guys have not played this game, you should play it, and you will enjoy that level a lot. But yeah, this one's just, I don't know, they got really, really creative with the auto-scrollers in this game. Once again, it's the second and last minecart level that we're going to be doing in the run. The other 3 are going to be the infamous rocket barrel levels. Again, make sure you get puzzle pieces when you can.
You have time for another donation?
Go for it, dude.
$5 from Jockey MS. Yo, can we get some more quick kills in this run?
Oh, if he's in the middle, I'll try. Jock, a runner of this game for years now, is talking about a quick kill you can do on the second boss of this world. He actually came up with a setup to make them consistent. I am, however, very lazy. I've been doing other things, so I do not know what the setup is. But it's something that will save you about 2 seconds on the next boss if you're able to hit it. And if you miss it, you lose 48. So, once again, speedrunning. Which I'm totally up for. I'm totally up for, taking those risks because it is speedrunning, you know. You want to go as fast as you can. When you don't know it, it makes it a little bit different. So yes, the platforms we are in have changed from a minecart. They somehow changed it into a boat, and then they changed it back into a minecart. So once again, super cool level here. Don't jump up this hill, otherwise it makes jumping on these platforms pretty scary. I'm sorry if anybody wanted me to get the G back there. I feel bad. I know that was killing completionists everywhere. Hit it! Alright. That's what it looks like. I wanted to go show you guys what a slot machine looks like. I messed up 2, 1, 2, 2, and 2, 3, so I might as well show you that. All right, so as you've seen, throughout the run, we've had only Cranky. And I promise you, there are other Kongs in this game, Diddy and Dixie. We're finally going to get to check out my boy Ghoul's girl, Dixie Kong, right here. So shouts to Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. Again, she gives you basically a double jump. Which Cranky's only weakness is that he cannot pogo off of bottomless pits. So we're going to need Diddy and Dixie for a few things. If I time this correctly. All right, very nice there. If you mistime those just a little bit with Diddy or Dixie on your back, instead of getting a full bounce there, you'll kind of just kill all your momentum because they think you want to start hovering. All right, let's see if I die here. This happens every once in a while. Oh, hey, we didn't die. Cool game. Yo, I got to jump over the bear. Okay, I screwed up everything else in this run so far, but I jumped over the bear. That's actually impossible. Sorry, completionists. Alright. So next level coming up is effectively a glorified auto-scroller. So for years it was like, alright, cool, another little break before you get to scowl the next boss. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we were able to find a series of just, if you optimize your movements, you can actually cut out 2 more seconds from this level. Just by optimizing a lot of little things, because you can get to, as you've seen, there are all sorts of different buddy Kong barrels in this game. There's the Diddies, the Dixies, the Crankies, and then there's ones that rotate between all 3. And it's about 1 second for every rotation. It always goes from Diddy to Dixie to Cranky. Well, we actually want to switch to Cranky at the second rotating barrel much further on in the level. So let's see if we can get up to it. All right. That might have been fast enough. That's going to be pretty borderline. A lot of it is just that very much opening movement right there. You'll also see me trying to jump on the very beginnings of each of these vines because it will just push me forward just a little bit. Also not do as many jumps, so I need to move as fast as I can to try to catch this. right here. Just accept the hit so I can do that. So I can, again, move forward just a little bit sooner. So, again, it's going to be very, very tight if I'm able to get this or not. But, again, I'm hoping to get the cranky barrel on the second rotating Kong barrel coming up here in just a second. If I'm not able to get it, I need to know how to hold up. But here's hoping. Oh, okay, so I actually got there in time. But to try to, like, cut out just a little bit of time right there, I had to, I tried to jump on the very beginning. I totally didn't have to. I totally had enough time. Didn't trust my movement in the first section. I think it almost, like, threw me off that I was able to see the Diddy part of the rotation. Also, I don't want any of these bananas. Little momentum conservation right there off that fling. So if you're touching the ground for more than, like, I forget what it is, like a quarter of a second, then you will end up losing all your momentum that you've stored, and you'll drop back to 0. So that's why, once again, Cranky is so good, because he can, his pogos are obviously instantly, he's touching the ground and then getting back off of it. So you can maintain it for a long time. You're going to see coming up here in about 4 levels, I'm going to try for the hardest strat in the game. We'll see how that goes. But Cranky is the main reason why the strat can even work. But anyways, now we're going into Scowl. This is probably the most skillful boss in the entire run. Debatably him along with the final boss, Frederick, the final boss of the game. But, yeah, a lot of it's going to be based off of me having to do these scary egg grabs as I'm coming up into the air. I'm going to bounce off of them and then pogo, grabbing them while I'm coming up out of a pogo, and then throw them. We'll see if I'm able to hit them or not. Getting an optimized Scowl is pretty difficult. Yeah, I had to pull up there. That's fine. He gave me a little bit of unfortunate RNG there, putting him all the way over on the right side, because then that makes it a lot tighter to have to actually get the whole thing in. Okay. So I need to go ahead and knock down this first egg. I need to get 3 eggs on screen, because that's the full 3 I need to move him on to the next phase. So we're going to hold on to this egg, knock down this second one, pogo off both these guys, pick him up. Ah, dang it. It's, again, they only give you 3 eggs to work with to get each phase. That's unfortunate. I've been hitting that lately. Get out of here. Unfortunately, you can't bring eggs to the next phase with you. All right, Yak, if he comes in the center, I will try my darndest to get myself a quick kill. Effectively, the way the quick kill is going to work is that you're seeing everything that's going on here. Imagine that I have to go through all of this again if I miss it. Again, he's only going to give you 2 eggs to work with, and there's one other spot where his helmet's going to come off and you can hit him. So I need to get 3 eggs set up, or I need to hit him with an egg, grab the other egg. Yeah, bad RNG there as well. So I'm going to have to wait to throw this egg just a second. So I'm going to pick this guy up. Again, if you let them sit there for too long, they just fall. They just fall down. And nope, he's to the right. Yeah, I could still try for it. We'll just get him there. About to say, because I was right there to the left side, it's actually only about a 1-second time save. All right. So World 2 is, like, in my opinion, probably the second hardest world in the game. So unfortunately, we missed a fair few things there. Never died, so I guess that's one thing to say for it. Now we move on to World 3. This first level, a lot of people basically just call the Lion King level. And you'll see for yourself. All you really need to know about the level is that there are 2 big universal cycles that I'm working on here. This is the second of 3 levels in the run that work off of universal cycles, meaning as long as I don't waste more than like a couple of seconds in each of the 2 halves, then I'm not actually losing any time. So it's really just making sure I don't mess up too much. But enjoy Lion King. Waiting there sets up that bird to still be there. Also, you got to make sure you do that so you can get this puzzle piece. Always important. Again, that's me screwing around because I know I have a little bit of time to spare at that point because I had made no mistakes. Me, I'm going to catch this cycle right here. Also, make sure you don't grab any of these bananas. Very good. Now this last section right here, the universal cycle I'm working off of, are these rotating snakes right here. Oh, I made a little bit of a mistake right there. Should be able to recover from it. Yup, yup. I'm going to hold right. Nice. Pretty specific timing to not just fall down there and look like an idiot. All right. All right, so we're 2 levels away from the hardest trick in the run. Because this run's been kind of subpar lately anyways, if I miss it the first time, if I miss most of it, I might just exit the level and try to do it a second time for you guys. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. For Battle Bad, there's not a lot going on in this level. There's going to be one little section coming up here where we just call flower strats, where flowers are kind of weird in this game, that they're the hitboxes, they're like the actual platforms you can land on, are lower down on the left and right sides for whatever reason than they are in the center. So I actually want to kind of come in from the side right there. Aw. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to blame that on my gamepad. For some reason, I'm just like losing momentum to the right side randomly. Okay. I guess that was an okay place for it to run out. If I do this correctly, I should be able to pogo through this entire last section. Alright, nice. Alright, so I didn't do this at SGDQ during the relay because I had no idea the memes that my community was into. So I'm going to get all these bananas up here because that's always important. Got to make sure you have plenty of lives. Then we got this puzzle piece. How many times can I jump over this thing? None. All right. That was for you guys at home. There you go. If you had Dixie there, you could have just hovered to that barrel. But once again, we kind of have a stretch here where in the natural route of the game, they don't give you Cranky in the next level. They tend to do that to you a lot. There's a lot of places where they're like, well, we admit Cranky's better, but we're not going to give him to you. We're going to make you use like Diddy, which you've noticed you have not seen in this run yet. Kind of telling of how good or bad Diddy is. Anyways, this is the hardest strategy in the entire game. It's called Tornado-Si-Do. And basically, like, you got these tornadoes that kind of have like big old hips, and if you fling yourself into them in the right way, you can actually take the momentum it's meant to eject you and eject you out the opposite way and maintain a lot of momentum. If I miss it the first time, I'll X out of the level and go for it a second time, but let's see if we can just do it. Alright, we're going to exit and try one more time. Didn't get quite enough speed there. So The hard part about it is if you jump too late, you just fall out of the wind. If you jump in too early, then you're not going to go far enough to the left, therefore not get enough speed. The further to the left you go, and then basically snapping back to the right, the more violent the fling back's going to be. So we'll give it one more try here. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Yeah, it's definitely it's the hardest strat in the game, for sure. Shout out to Not So Newbie for finding it about 2 years ago at this point. Yeah. We're just going to exit level. Ah, darn it. So that was, once again, so you're constantly having to make adjustments all throughout the level. And basically, I just pogoed a little too early there, which put me into the wrong part of that next tornado, which pushed me down into that enemy as opposed to lifting me up. I actually had good speed there, so that's unfortunate. That's the same thing I actually did during the SGDQ relay. So this is the last time we'll do it. There is not a checkpoint until like very far into the level, and I would have rather not lost Cranky. So last time we're doing it, and then we're moving on. Wanted to really try and showcase that. Oh, we've been given a second chance. Oh, mama. No! We got like 90% of it there. The death's fine. We got to showcase it. So this is, I'm just going to call it, this is Bitch NATO. That guy will end 98% of your attempts at it. And that last hoot there was the last thing I was worried about. After that, you're pretty much home free. All right, so this is Diddy. Diddy doesn't help nearly as much with Randy's problems. So we're just going to try to like run as much as we can with him and not have to start up new runs. You're obviously a little bit limited in that regard. He does have a huge hitbox though, so we can also like run over a lot of huge gaps. I wish we could just keep Diddy, but we're going to switch to Dixie there because it's auto. So Diddy is going to get some love later on in this run. Oh, just going to wait there. And he gets the Yoshi treatment there. All right, we saved it. Okay, we're fine. So yeah, with Bitch NATO back there, what you want to do is you want to go into it at like a very, very specific spot, which is all set up by all of your pogos all the way through the first half of the level. And if you go in there right, it will kind of send you down, but then give you just a little bit of a lift to get up on top of that wooden platform, and you can continue it all from there. And then from there, it's all execution. Unfortunately, I just missed that last hoots, which would have cleared the final pit and then allowed me to go through the last section. So, all right, but moving on. So nice with this level afterwards is just after you, because a lot of times when you're doing speed runs of this full game RTAs, after you finish that level, if you hit it, you got a lot of adrenaline probably running through you. This is a nice, easy level to get you through, to kind of get you through that. A lot of just running and jumping here. There is one section at the very end, which, from what we can tell, is basically just, it's probably like sub-pixel perfect stuff, from what we can tell. I don't know, none of us do enough research on it. Maybe there is some sort of setup. We always like to believe there is. Duck and go. Oh, we're gonna wait, go. And now we'll just see if I get lucky or not. Whoa, we got lucky. All right, that was totally skill, not RNG whatsoever. Once again, as you can see, a level where the theme, there's a lot more pits I need to hover over. A little bit preferred that to Cranky. Next level we got coming up here, I'm going to be switching over to Cranky at the start, and then we're going to be going into the rocket barrel levels. Yeah, these levels, there's unfortunately like no way really to optimize these. The only real optimization you can do is just being able to mash the, it's like 5 presses, I think it is, in order to make the rocket actually blast off at the beginning. So yeah, a lot of times in individual levels, like in the time attack feature in this game, which people should totally check out, if they run this, if they decide to pick this game up. Oh, I actually could have gone for that. You can see there, like, I was able to do 5 button presses there. A lot of times people do pause buffering strats, where they'll just have the button pressed coming out of each pause, and then immediately pause again. Also, if you ever, like, a lot of people end up having a lot of troubles with these rocket barrel levels, just hold the freaking A button, because this is what happens. Come down and back up to the top. If you ever have troubles getting through these rocket barrel levels, because people didn't understand this is a 1-button minigame, effectively, where you press A, you can kind of like pump your way up, you let go of it, you drop down, and people just didn't understand that concept. Again, they made it a little bit easier, I guess, because so many people were complaining about dying in the auto-scrollers in Donkey Kong Country Returns, that they decided to make them 2 shots instead of a 1 shot. Also, I haven't really talked about it yet, but shoutouts to David Wise, composer of much of DKC 1, 2, and 3, the original trilogy, was not on the team for DKC Returns, but returned here. This is one of my absolute favorite soundtracks of all time, video game or otherwise. Also here, so there's like another like whole half to this level. We don't want to do it. We're just going to take this secret exit right here. Tropical Freeze, that's something that's exclusive to Tropical Freeze, not used in Returns at all, where in each of the worlds there are kind of branching paths that you can take. Up through now, Worlds 1 and 2 didn't have faster routes for us to go through. However, World 3 here, all 3 of these levels that you could go to, because there's actually 1 regular exit and 2 secrets there that will send you off to these either sides. You're going to save about 10 seconds just based on the level. This is about a 50-second level compared to the 2 1-minute levels to its left, but also it just ends that 2-minute level 1 minute faster. It's actually not quite a minute. It's like 40 seconds, but I digress. So, this is a cool level. I actually at one point held the individual level world record for this, and yeah. So hopefully I don't screw it up. I screwed it up! Dang it! That's fine. That's a minor mistake. A lot of it is the timing of these flower bounces. I screwed that up as well. Those are the 2 hardest tricks in the level, honestly. Oh. Alright, now we got to drop down to the N, which should set this up to where I shouldn't take another hit. Because I took a hit earlier, I'm actually just going to damage boost through this area and just pick up Cranky in the next level. It's going to be pretty fast to pick him up. I jumped a little early at that bowl a little bit earlier on, as you guys could see. There's thankfully not a lot of RNG in this run. Most of it is contained to the bosses, as seemed to be the case in a lot of these games. These guys are probably the ones who, by themselves, along with the World 6 boss, can just waste the most time if they want to. And it's based off of their second phase, where they're going to be like sitting on these poles, whether they come down far enough to actually get hit by Cranky. You'll notice that, once again, like most of the rest of the run, Cranky is the preferred Buddy Kong to have here, mainly because, once again, he can pogo on anything. So anything that's like spiky, he can pogo off of and cause damage to. Whereas Diddy or Dixie would have to wait until they expose something a little softer, I guess. So, we're going to position ourselves perfectly here. I timed that perfectly to not take a hit. Now we need to wait in this corner. A lot of it's just manipulating their position here in this fight. All right, so that officially killed off one of them. Look up at the 2 baboons on the top. One's black and one was like a lighter color. As you hit each of them have 3 health. So, wow. Okay, so bad RNG. They both stayed up as high as they could. I can't get up to them and poke at them. So instead here, we're going to be using... Oh, he's putting out his tongue at me. What a dick. Okay, so... See, do they come down fast enough? Oh, that didn't hit. Alright, so let's go ahead and take out this guy. We're going to wait till he hangs down, then hit that guy, which basically just drops him down faster, allowing me to get the third hit on that one. Again, each of the three of them have 3 health, so as soon as you deplete one of them to 0, it moves on to the next phase. So a lot of it is actually, even though you only want to kill one of them, it's better to overall try to get... Oh, where's that bomb put? You want to try to hit the other ones to kind of push along other phases of the fight in order to make getting those hits a little bit easier. Wait here to make sure the bomb's off to the side. Alright, it's final hit here, and then we're moving on to World 4, where we'll finally get to see some actual Diddy play later on. Come on up here. Not realistic to not take a hit here, so we just jump into it, pogo up, and Phil Mickelson! Alright, got him. It's the opposite of Kobe Bryant. Okay. So that is World 3 for us. Moving on to World 4. The theme of World 4 is a big water world, which is good because that's Diddy's home. Again, because Diddy was in returns, they already had an above-ground power for him. His little jetpack that kind of gives you like a slowly descending hover to make a few jumps a little bit easier. Whereas Dixie gives you the same thing, but also can give you a lot better height. So she makes it much more versatile just to use her. See, we almost never want to be Diddy above water. However, like in the water, he has an amazing jetpack, which is able to make us just go a lot faster, just blasting through everything. Also, I feel my phone vibrating like every 3 seconds, so I guess there's a lot of tweets going on. Thank you to anyone who's either happy to see the run or insulting me, whatever it might be. I hope I did not inspire people in the crowd to start tweeting at me like crazy. 6, 7, drop. Up. Come down. Oh, we're going to make the second. So that mistake right there might cost me a few seconds later on. So barrels underwater move, again, I told you with like the rotating the Diddy to Dixie to Cranky barrels, they're 1 second apiece. Whereas underwater, they're actually twice as long. You see they just move a little bit slower. So they're 2 seconds apiece instead. So mistakes where you miss cycles now are 6-second mistakes instead of 3. Yeah, that didn't really matter right there. I was trying to rush it to get to this Dixie cycle a little bit faster. All right. So now we need to switch to Dixie, even though Diddy had his time in the limelight right there to be able to jetpack through a little bit faster. Dixie's the only one who can move against these currents quickly. You actually can do it with Diddy, and you should see it later on in the run. But, yeah. It's a little bit faster just to use Dixie here instead to go against the current naturally. All right. So this is the most well-hidden secret exit in the run. Or in the entire game, I should say. Just because you got to do some backtracking, and it isn't immediately obvious this is what you had to do. But overall, this route through World 4 is, I mean, man, my phone is just going off like crazy. All right. Actually saves like, I think it's, I'm trying to think here, 2, 4, and 6, plus some load screens. Probably saves like literally 5 minutes going up this route. Instead of going 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, 4-4, I'm going to go 4-1, 4A, 4B. I'm trading in 3 like 2-minute levels and a bunch more load screens for 2 1-minute levels. This is actually a pretty cool level here. I've also held the individual level world record for this as well. It's the only level in the game where ideally you're going to see all 3 Kongs. Switch. I'm going to start out as Dixie here, who doesn't benefit you at all. She's actually kind of a hindrance, but she's on our back, so it counts. Then we're going to switch to Diddy for some fast swimming, and then switch to Cranky so we can realistically get to the secret exit at the end. Also shouts to Lockjaw Saga. All right, we didn't get hit there by the shark. Hardest part of the level over. Okay, that's fine. We're going to switch that up right there.
We have another $5 donation. If you want your donation read, don't be afraid to go to smashtherecord.com and follow the link.
We're gonna have to wait here for this cranky cycle. Let's go ahead, just to be safe. We're gonna grab this backup heart right there. Shouts to knowing your backups. All right, so there's a secret exit here as well that we need to get, and we're going to be using a very specific setup. All the way down, touch those bananas. Full pogo, we're in there. Oh, let me do a little bit of walk. I probably wasted almost no time because I didn't get the slot machine instead, which lags it just a little bit. All right, so this strat is pretty cool. It's probably the coolest strat in the run. It was found about 6 months ago by NKB. Shoutouts to him. And what I'm going to be doing here is actually swapping in a second player. Oh. And we're going to be putting on Diddy. This is so I can, one, it just gives me Diddy, which is cool, but also will allow me to actually detach one Kong from the other. I'm going to have to listen here pretty closely to get some strats, but yeah, I'll just let this one explain itself. It's pretty obvious. Okay, we're going to have to go back out. Let's get back on. I was a little too high there with Diddy. That's okay. This is still worth it. Until then, you guys can just listen to Aquatic Ambience. The hardest part of the strat is having to move here in while blind. All right. Oh. Having to move Diddy off screen. Well, that's not gonna work. Don't even know what I hit there. Okay, come on. This saves a monster amount of time, so it's still somehow saving time. Get back up there. We're having to release Diddy right as we're about to hit the surface. And there we go. Don't worry, everyone, we'll be fine. So I'm counting my strokes so that I know when to start moving. Oh, on the artifacting, this is great. Just kind of have to know when to start coming down. I'm going to move there. Okay, we were close. And that's the end of the level. Cool. All right, so unfortunately, I had 2 times there. I was able to get it like relatively quickly, the out of bounds, but then got a little bit lost trying to move. I have to move Diddy around, and then you have to make sure you don't hit any loading zones, which are everywhere. Also not bonk on anything. To what is considered the lead Kong. So what I need to do is I need to then move Diddy back up into like the bottom right corner of the screen. You can't see him, but I have to move him there, even though I can't see him either. And then start moving forward. Anyways, but there's no time to really gloat about that too much because now we got to do 4-5. This is another one of the hardest just straight up platforming stages in the run. All right, we're going to have to throw this. That random delay I put on actually kind of worked out there. Start the level as Diddy. We're going to move to Cranky here for some of these big jumps. This middle section here is very, very difficult. Coming up right after this little wall I need to blast through. Hopefully this guy doesn't hit me. Oh, it's okay. Okay, we're going to have to change up the route just a little bit. And we're going to wait for a snap. Okay, that's still going to be fine. A little bit of a trick shot there to get into that top barrel. Now we're going to have to grab ourselves a Diddy here to swap back to him. Yeah, we're just gonna take a death. I want to have Diddy at the start of the next level. That was unfortunate. I don't know why that didn't clear that tuck back there. It's all right. That's actually not that bad of a death. I am confused. All right, let's try that again. I should be easily clearing this tuck. This is odd. I don't know why. All right, let's just get... Fine, I'll throw in a hover. Jerk. Okay. All right, and don't mistime this. Okay, cool. What you're supposed to do there is pound through that crate to get to those, but if you just jump off and be a little bit of a daredevil there, you can save about 2 seconds. Dying costs you about 25 there. So once again, speed running. That was really unfortunate. I don't know why I wasn't clearing that tuck. So I want to keep Diddy here because the devs are kind of jerks. Sorry, Retro. And they decided to not give you any Buddy Kong barrels until halfway through this level. And the first half of this is a lot of swimming. So I want to obviously have Diddy to make that a lot faster. I've never actually broken down, but it's an insane amount of time you lose to not having Diddy for the breaststrokes. Damage boost there is obviously better. Ooh, this is going to be tight. Well, that's what I'm talking about, how Diddy or Dixie, sometimes when you go for like a boosted bounce off of something, because you have them on your backs, it can cause you to start a hover instead, just killing all your momentum. Again, a big reason why we want to do as little to run with them on our backs as possible. So that's unfortunately going to end up costing us. It's a pretty set amount. It's just a 6-second time loss, because now I'm going to be missing a Diddy cycle that I would be getting otherwise. Coming up right here after this effectively little auto-scroller section. Bonk doesn't even matter because now I gotta wait here. It's really a testament to David Wise and the rest of the composers for all of this. That like Aquatic Ambience is probably like the worst track in this world in the game. And it's still obviously really, really good. It's classic Aquatic Ambience, and they did a great job modernizing it. But yeah, if you haven't, if you don't own this game, just like go listen to the music if nothing else. It's all really, really good. All right, so this is the boss this is probably the level overall that gave me the most trouble the first time I played the game casually. This is Fugu. And if you go in, there's like, in the different time attacks, there are gold, silver, and bronze medals that you shoot for. And usually the gold medal is like, it's relatively hard to beat. I mean, like, we've figured out strats over the years to, you know, make it easier, but... here, the gold medal time is like 2-something minutes to beat this boss. I'm going to try to beat him in 40 seconds, and that's because of this exploit right here. All right. So unfortunately, he was a bit of a jerk, and once again, RNG was a little rough to me there. He didn't poop out a heart, even though you're supposed to, so that's fine. I'm going to have to use a little bit of a backup strat here. That's going to make it a little bit scary. I'm just going to take a hit him, get a heart. When you're down to just one heart, like 99% of the time. Oh, yeah, we're just going to take the death, actually. That would have made that fight take another, like, minute and a half. So we're just going to try to do the strat again. Went backwards. All right, so hopefully this time he gives me a little bit better RNG. If he doesn't give me a heart, then I'm going to lose Cranky, and I cannot kill him quickly with his cane. Let's try it again. We're not getting the right angles. Oh, okay. All right, thank you, RNG. Okay. Once again, we're trying to just basically sneak in right around to his little butt and try to get these hits off. Oh, we got, all right. Oh, okay. We can still get, let's actually just position for the backup at this point. All right, and get out of here, okay. And I hate you. Hate you. All right. That's for not giving me good RNG in the first time through. All right, 4 worlds down. We got 2 islands left. The story of this game, for anyone who's wondering that, is basically Lord Frederick and a bunch of his snowmads, as they're called, decided to bust into Donkey Kong Island and took it away from us. So now we have to blast through these 5 other random islands to get back to our island, Donkey Kong Island, which is the 6th world in this game, and take it back. The 5-1 here at the beginning of it is changed a little bit because we are not starting with Cranky. Obviously, if everything works out well in Fugu, then you can just have him at the start. But it shouldn't slow you down at all. It's just going to change my spacing a little bit. Intentionally taking a hit there to set this up to get Dixie right there. That hover probably is costing me a cycle coming up here. Yeah, we're just going to wait. Roll didn't come out there. Don't know why. This first time I've just had a straight up dropped roll. All right, so we're going to have to wait here. Go. Get out of my way, dude. All right, you got a trusty trolley. We trusted it. It worked out for us. If you don't land on that cart perfectly, it will just fall off right there. So, yeah, you don't want that. Again, that's an intentional hit we're taking there to set up all these cycles. Full pogo there. Pogo here to not get hit. And then full pogo, holding A, which gives us just enough of a boost to get in there and get to the cart. Next up, we have our 4th of 5 auto-scrollers in the run. It's the only level I did not practice at all building up to this, so I'm going to just assume I remember how not to die in this auto-scroller. My lack of practice already showing off. Just wasn't mashing there. Wasn't thinking about what was coming up. This is the second and last level we're going to see the little dynamic camera angles over the shoulder. Other than that, not a lot to say here. Try to get puzzle pieces. 100%, get all the Kong letters. Don't get hit by this guy. This guy can be pretty tricky the first time you play this. Let's see here. We're at 1 heart. I remember where all this is. Alright. Decided to be more of a tryhard than I needed to be, taking that hit immediately after I got the heart. There's a heart coming up here somewhere, right? Just put them somewhere in here. I don't know. Hey, a 1 up though. Hey, that's good news. So I got 25 lives till we game over. Yo, let's go up here. A heart. Oh, dope. Alright, so. That was like impossible for me to understand like where those fruit actually were the first time I played this. Yo, 100% nice. On completion. Oh, there's one strat. I came up with it right here. This is the only optimization in this level, basically. Yo, dope. Alright. You don't have to land on that thing. You can just pogo off like the very end of it and bounce backwards into the barrel. Yeah, I'm pretty cool. It's whatever. Next up, this next level is one of my favorite levels to run in the game, and it's also got one of my favorite tracks. I feel like no one ever talks about this one when they talk about like best tracks in the game. Most of the level is going to be played here with Cranky. It was revolutionized a long time ago while we were developing strats for this game by Cruncha, another awesome runner of this game. That you're going to be starting with Cranky, and then at the very end of the level, you're going to be swapping to Dixie. Cranky just is better throughout the first like 3/4 of it. You'll kind of see a lot of the little strats he lends himself to. Normally you have to wait back there, but with Cranky's pogo, we can just skip over that. Wait until we see one claw come down there. 2 full pogos, which gives me that hit, setting me up right there. Now we're going to go pogo, pogo, wait, go. Okay, now we're going to set ourselves back up here to the left, getting right in front of these saws. Setting us up to go through there. All right, didn't get hit by that guy. Very good. Rolling on those moving platforms there to move me a little more to the right. Pogo all throughout this section. Rolling through there again. Moving platforms. Good section all the way through the Cranky part. Now we just need to get up to Dixie here. There's this cute little lip of the platform you can get on right there to pogo up and skip a little bit of platforming there. Also, this is a little scary. There we go. All right, cool. And last real trick of the level, be Dixie there, so you can just fly right up into that barrel a little bit early. All right, Next level can be one of the scariest ones in the entire run. So we've taken secret exits in World 3 and World 4. We're going to be taking the secret exit here in World 5. Unfortunately, I have to get to the very end of this level with Diddy or Dixie. I'm going to be using the Diddy route because he's a little bit faster than Dixie due to a couple of water sections. If I take 2 hits or if I die, I lose Diddy. I cannot take the secret exit. I will have to go to Jelly Jamboree, which is a little bit slower level by about 20 seconds. And a lot of us just don't practice it ever. We don't run it, so it usually costs more than 20 seconds. So hopefully I don't lose Diddy in the course of this level. You are only given 1 Buddy Kong barrel, 1 right here at the beginning. So if I take 2 hits, it's over. Or die once again. Okay. Okay, didn't take a hit there. That's good. Ah, that stinks. Came up a little bit short there. We'll just take this one normally. Once again, jump to pull plugs up a little bit faster. Drop down and go up. Let's just wait there. Okay. All right, hold down and right. I had to make adjustments back there that I've never seen before because a couple of things got thrown off. But we didn't die there. It's actually pretty easy too, so. I'll call that skill. Sure, it was probably actually just a lot of luck that I didn't blast at the wrong times. But those are some sick reads, whatever. Okay. Now this last section, this climbing section, is very difficult. You can get there a little bit faster and cut that out. Oh, let's try again. Oh. Up. Just wait there. Wait. Go. Okay, so you're not supposed to be able to swim against currents with Diddy. However, if I keep doing this, where I'm doing jetpacks and then swapping to the breaststroke, it keeps giving him just a little bit more distance, and Diddy's able to do it himself, so good for him. Makes him a little bit more useful in the run. Hey, dude. What's up, guys? Hey, what's up? You're leaving? Oh, no. Oh, I love you. Everyone say bye to Blunt Bunny at home. Is anybody else leaving? Okay. I love you. He was runner of Donkey Kong Country 3. He's really cool. All right, so we didn't die there in that level or lose Diddy, so we do get to, in fact, move on to 5B a little bit faster. It's about 20 seconds faster. So the route overall saves about, I think, like 10 seconds optimally. Because it does actually make that last level a little bit longer, because that's basically right at the end of the level where that secret exit is. So it takes a little bit longer to get to it. Anyway, so yeah, this is the last of the 3 levels where everything's based off of universal cycles that are based on the music. Gonna wait here because I have to wait anyways to make sure those platforms are gonna be there. Okay, cool. That's a pretty difficult section right there. Now we just gotta do a little bit of waiting. It's okay, because I want to catch the cranky cycle right there. All right, time that perfectly. All right, good first section.
You have time for one donation?
Of course, go for it.
All right, got a $200 donation from Mr. Cab.
Woo!
Hey, Spike, good luck and go fast.
Try it. Ooh, okay, that was pretty close. All right. Shouts to Mr. Cab, one of the best people in the speedrunning community. Good guy. Now we're just going to do some walking here to kind of set this up, and then go. We used to have a setup here for the end of this level, however. A lot of people used to do a little setup there where you would, like, jump back to the left and then roll forward to hit that owl. However, if you just, like, make a really tight jump there, just do a quick roll and jump immediately, then you'll just pogo off of that owl, get to the final barrel blast, and shoot up into it. Once again, I want to keep cranky because this next level, once again, there's lots of really cool strats you can do if you are cranky. This is the first level. Again, it's Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. You haven't seen a lot of snowy-themed worlds or anything. Donkey Kong Island's going to be covered with snow. However, this one we're getting introduced to it. It's kind of showing you the theme of it. Lots of cool ice mechanics all throughout this level. You'll see little boosts in speed from me, hopefully, all over the place. Let's see what happens. Okay, didn't get rejected there. Got to get a little bit lucky there. Okay, didn't get that. That's fine. Played that one a little bit safe there. You can see that we got some ice physics we're playing with right now. Again, that hit back there I took was a little unfortunate, but that's fine. I'll make it work. All right, we're just going to hold here. We're waiting. We're not holding right until just now. Woo! Okay, that was really close. I had to do backup strats there and just do it all with solo DK at the end. Again, basically that unfortunate hit, and I'm not 100% sure what causes that. Again, for all we know, it's like little weird sub-pixel stuff. Sometimes you're able to get through that very first area without those claws hitting you. Sometimes you're not. Because they did, I had to change a lot of the strats I had to do for the rest of the level, but we did actually adjust pretty well, so that's good. Despite a lot of sloppiness throughout the run, this has been actually a very solid World 5. We had that one unfortunate death in 5-1, but other than that, pretty good. So here we got Punch Bowl, or as other people know him, the Coca-Cola Bear. And I love that because it points the arrow right into where you're going. The story of this is that you landed on his little home right here, and that caused his ice pop to fall into the ocean right there, or the ocean. This pond does not qualify as an ocean. And now he's very, very angry, so now we have to fight him. That's your update on the story. Okay, awesome. So I need to hit him as quickly as I can with those bombs, which is actually like a pretty difficult technique to do. Where I need to land on it. Everything's slippery, as you can see. I need to land on it, break it, pick it up, and throw it in one fell swoop. If I don't do it very quickly, then he actually moves on to a different attack animation there. And it wastes actually about 20 seconds. Because you can see, I was pretty much able to get my immediate third hit there, or my third hit immediately, from him slamming down the hammer. That would not have been the case if I was a little bit slow with that second hit with the bomb. It's also random whether he gives you the bomb on the third or the fourth ice block. I got good RNG there, so even though I've complained about some other aspects of RNG in this run, he was certainly very nice to me there. Just made it a little bit easier. From there, a lot of it's just optimizing getting your 9 hits as quickly as you can. That's what it is on quite a few of the bosses. Also, another, this is probably the most random piece of RNG in this game. I actually got unlucky there. We wasted about 4 seconds. These, before these 2 hits, the last hit and this one, it's random whether he'll jump down 5 or 6 times. And he decided to jump down 6 times. Also, this is something you can do if you're bored. Nice, those last 2 hits were actually very quick. But yeah, he gave me an extra jump there, wasting about 4 seconds, but that's fine. I think that's the least of my worries in this run, so. Nice. That was actually, I lifted that up so quickly, we basically didn't even get a throw animation. It was just I slightly lifted it in front of him when it was very close. Also, for those of you who are baseball fans out there, we got a fastball, we got a fastball, we got a fastball, we got a fastball, and we got a changeup. It's random also whether that's going to be the third, fourth, or fifth one of those being the change-up or not. It's actually slightly faster if the third one's the change-up, because they each progressively keep getting a little bit faster. But, again, not a big deal there. I was a little far away there to pick it up. All right. So good World 5. But we do have one world left. And I talked about how World 2 might be the hardest world in the game, or is the second hardest world in the game. This is probably the hardest world in the game. 6-1, 6-2, 6-5, all monster levels. 6-6, 6-7, 6-8, all have potential of killing your runs. And 6 boss, he's got a lot of RNG to him. Getting hits on him can be very, very difficult. Almost kind of like Bowser throws, I equate it to. But we have an entire world to go through before we get to that point, so we won't get too far ahead of ourselves. 6-1 is an absolute monster level. Even though it's only 50 seconds, it can be either 50 seconds or like 3 minutes. Based on making mistakes here and there. You can death cycle really easily. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I will... never mind. Let's see what happens. I was a little early there, so we threw in a roll instead. Little trick shot here. Nice. Damage boost right there. Nice. Didn't get hit. Okay, cool. We cleared the whole first section. That's a hard part. Weaving through everything there without getting hit. Once again, we have no other Buddy Kong barrels throughout the rest of the level, so I need to not take damage anywhere. Need to put on a slight delay there. Okay, time for a big fling. Grab, drop, go. Hell yeah. All right. We're through a lot of the hard parts of the level. We just need to clear it out right here. And just roll, and jump, and pogo. Okay, cool. That was disgustingly perfect for all the strats we're going for. Yeah, very, very nice there. Again, there's like so many parts right there. If I mess up one little thing, if I die, we lose Cranky, everything gets a lot slower, and everything gets way more dangerous.
Do you have time for one donation?
Go for it, dude.
We got a $25 donation from VG Bootcamp Tantalus. Hey guys, sorry I couldn't make it out there this year. Glad to see Smash and speedrun communities come together for such a great cause. Hope to go alongside you next year. And also, we hit our 25,000 mark where we're going to have our own Smash the Record Mannequin Challenge.
All right, 6-2. This is possibly the most punishing level in the entire run. Just want to lift that up just a little bit to get out of the ice-cold water. Because ice-cold water will hurt you here. I do not want to lose Cranky. That being said, I'm also an idiot, and I'm jumping in the water right there just so I can save a little bit of time. That sets me up right there to not get hit right there perfectly. And then normally that section is very, very long. However, if you've got Cranky, you get to save all that time right there. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we kept Cranky for the important parts. Okay, cool. All right. We got through. It was unfortunate that we lost him there to the drug ring, as we call him. But that's only going to cost us a few seconds here. I'm going to have to improv a little bit because I don't remember what the opening of this level is with solo DK that well. I'm probably going to have to play it a little bit safe on just a couple of jumps. We're then going to be given Diddy. It's kind of a point in the run where in the game where it feels like they were like, okay, we just haven't been having them play with Diddy at all. So we're just going to force him on you here. This isn't a rotating barrel. Diddy helps you not at all in this level, at least not optimally, as opposed to either Dixie or Cranky. There's lots of places where you'd like to get more height. It just felt like they were like, well, we need Diddy to be in the game more. So we're just going to do that. So again, I'm going to be improvising here a little bit. I don't remember this like hardly at all, so. Okay, so as you can see, we're improvising a little bit. Try to bounce off of that tuck right there. Pretty sure I can bounce off of him up to that top platform. Ooh, the saves. That was totally skill on my part, not luck, once again. Okay. We're going to let this come down just a little bit. And sure, Diddy. That is the Diddy barrel of shame, unfortunately. Again, it's a trade I'm willing to make to still get through that last level with Cranky all the way. So again, you could skip over this little underneath section right here if you had one of the other Kongs. However, once again, we do not have them because they gave you the unfortunately very useless Kong, but that's okay. We only have to keep Diddy here for a little bit. This is ideally the last time we're going to see Diddy in this run. So here we have our final auto-scroller in the run. It's a big old rocket barrel level. Kind of the theme of this world, in addition to it being, it's Donkey Kong Island, it's completely covered in snow, taken over by Lord Frederick and the Snowmads. If any of you have played Donkey Kong Country Returns, the 2010 Wii release by Retro Studios, the prequel to this, there are 8 worlds in that game, and each of these 8 levels in this world are based off of one of the corresponding world from that. So World 4 in DKC Returns is based off of a lot of auto-scrollers, so it kind of fit that this was the auto-scroller level. And shout-outs to Michael Goldfish. Michael Goldfish likes to try hard in marathons and take immediate hits. So I'm going to do the same, try to make him proud. You do not get any health back for the rest of this auto-scroller. So it's going to cost me a lot of time if I take a hit anywhere in here. This is about a 2.5 minute auto-scroller. Got a little scurry there right before the checkpoint. Also, if any of you have played Returns, screw that guy. Big old purple turd. That was the hardest level in that game. Let's just stay away from those cannonballs. All right, a little bit of a scary section right here. Okay. Dipping and diving everywhere. Oh, thank God, I needed that. I just realized I missed the K at some point. Where was the K? Must get all things. I ran into it now. I was looking at the items. That's fine. Shouts to Michael Goldfish. I was trying to think of what the next section was. All right, so I'm going to have to pick up Cranky in the next level. That's fine. Oh, what am I doing? Take a hit. Not gonna lie, that was just a complete brain fart on my part. That's all right. They're giving us 1-ups. We'll come in 4 hours over the estimate, but we're not gonna game over. It's fine. All right, let's try again to get all these items. Shit. Just completely thought I had to go high there. Alright, so this is why I love this game. One of the many reasons. I am now a gigantic snowball. Yeah, it's going to slow down the very beginning of 6-5 just by about 2 seconds because I have to pick up Cranky here at the end because I stupidly died there, but that's okay. (6-5) is debatably the hardest overall level in the run. Lots of big tricks that you need to go for here. Obviously subpar run here, so we're going to just try to go for as much as we can. See what we can get. Once again, you got a lot of, there's all these like boost pads all over the level. So we're going to be boosting off of them, getting a lot of momentum, and then once again using Cranky to store as much of that as we can. Boost pad, boost, pogo, pogo, roll. Got a lot of speed. We're skipping a lot of the level. All right, there we go. Let's do it again. I was putting us up at the top. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to try to load this rope. Oh, that was so close. I was trying to load the rope there to save about 1 second. And now we're going to lose about 1 million, but that's okay. Again, I said I was going to try to go for everything. Take the hit there. That's fine. It's going to cost us. Now we got to play it a little bit safe here, unfortunately. Otherwise, we're just going to go right into that snowflake. Can't go for the strat anyways. I actually was a little overly confident there because I thought I didn't load it properly. I don't know how I weaved through there, but that's fine. Just gonna play it a little bit safe right there. Saves about 2 seconds if you hit that. Okay, and damage boost through this stuff. Wait. Go. Okay, that's a pretty scary section right there. Pogo through all this. Now, hopefully we can just chain a bunch of pogos together right here. Go into a neutral bop there. Now we're just going to go all the way around, take that damage. Okay, cool. We had the unfortunate death back there. That's probably about the most punishing death you can have in that level, but I recovered off of it pretty well. Just as you can see, a death there that was probably a good 20 seconds lost. But it's 6-5. That is definitely I mean, it's not the end of it. This is a brutal run all the way through. But yeah, that can definitely, that's probably the last huge hurdle that a lot of runners have to go through. It is intentional, the 2 damage boosts that I took back there. Losing Cranky is not a big deal. It's not a deal at all because you have to slow down a little bit at the start of this level to make sure you line up with the Dixie cycle that's going to be about 1/3 of the way through the level. So I just have to know how to move through here with solo DK. Almost didn't make that. All right, that's fine. Let's see if we make it or not. Oh, that was the very end of the Dixie cycle. Okay. We take those. Oh. Nice. Got that. That's extremely tight, actually, even though it doesn't look like it. We're going to hover out here to load this platform. That is always extremely scary. Okay, so this last section right here, this entire climb, when you touch one spot in the level, the next area will come down once you touch that corresponding area. So it makes it important where I'm actually landing. And right here, we're going to hold right. Oh no, we're dead. Wait, where are we? We're actually in a barrel there that you're eventually going to get around to. We're just dropping right into it. It's just loaded right there for some reason, and then we're just waiting for that platform to rotate around and get just a little bit out of the way for us to blast up to the barrel and get out of there. All right, so good 6-6 there. Except we got 6-7. I always draw a comparison to Crash Bandicoot. It always reminds me of like the laboratory levels from those games. Shouts to Crash Bandicoot. Just got 2 levels left and then the boss. It is there, so there is also, make sure you always get that puzzle piece because you got to wait here anyways. But there is a alternative route you can use here and use Cranky, which saves, I think, about a second. I just have never learned that. Also, why not? That is the Kong Pao. It's a mechanic we never show you anywhere else in the run, but it's a pretty standard marathon staple to show it off. Depending on which of the Kongs that you have access to at the time, it will turn all the enemies on screen into something different. With Dixie, it turns them all into gold hearts, which actually, so if you have at least 4 enemies on the screen, you can have 8 hearts, actually, for your max health. It's going to cause me to not lose Dixie here, but that doesn't matter at all. I'm going to be switching to Cranky at the beginning of the next level anyways. So yeah, I think it works out to where Cranky saves about a second on that level if you use him. But as you see, there were a lot of pits all over that level, so it's definitely something that, with what little time I had to prepare for Smash the Record, I was not comfortable with trying out. And he also saves about another second on this next level here because I won't have to switch over to him, waiting for the barrel to switch around. This is the final normal level before the final boss of the game. It's once again our 3rd and final Rambi level. Yeah, once again, he's terrible. So we're getting Cranky and we're going to try to fix that. By the way, we should be done with Diddy and Dixie for the run, so... Diddy, that was a long time ago, so should have said bye to him forever ago. But yeah, again, every time I have to start up a run with Randy, I'm losing about a quarter of a second. Oh. So every time I'm able to instead just like chain a bunch of pogos together, that's better. Should be able to get this, okay. Wait. Woo! Alright, that's fine. This time that just a little bit, but we were able to adjust. Wait, go. Shaving just the top of Cranky's hair right there. Alright, nice. Got through that whole section correctly. That's a really good section to nail. As you can see, there's so many of these targets that you can blast through, chaining them together really, really well with Cranky's pogos. Wait, go. Alright, don't just mash the A button. Shouts once again to Michael Goldfish. Wait. Also, Randy's adorable, sticking out of that barrel. Oh, I didn't burn Ramby. Oh, well. I'm not talking about anything speed-wise. But shouts to SGDQ when we burned Ramby alive at the end. We did not save the animals there. All right, so final boss here, Frederick. So what I equate Frederick to, once again, like all the other bosses, he's got 9 hits that I have to deal. It's something that is inherently, like, it's simple in concept, but in execution, I would say it's about as difficult as, say, like Bowser throws in Super Mario 64. It's pretty simple what you have to do, but it's a relatively tight frame window that you have to fit each of them into, and I have to hit him 9 times. Constantly, the fight is also changing. The exact hit for each of them is a little bit different. He'll be adding in ice mechanics all over the place. How quickly he's going to run at you. He has 3 different running speeds. It's going to be pretty tough. There's also a lot of little elements of RNG in this boss, which I'll get to when we get there. You can also throw these enemies at him early, but I've also never learned that strat, so I was going to do that. All right, so I'm going to stand right here. When I see him move, I'm going to jump and pogo. All right, stand right here, jump and pogo. Stand right here, jump, and poke. Okay. So those were the easy hits. He was obviously walking very slow there. I'm not having to deal with any ice mechanics yet. It's RNG how many times he's going to jump here, which he jumped 4 out of 5 possible times there. You can have him jump as little as, I think, 3 times. So about average luck there. Now we're dealing with ice physics. So setting yourself up after each hit is going to be a little bit harder. If I miss any of these hits, I'm automatically losing a minute in time. So really want to make sure that doesn't happen. All right, so we're going to stay here for 4 because he's going to go slow, medium, fast here. Now we're going to stand right here. Ooh, that was way too close. Oh my God. I'm an idiot, but it worked. Okay. I made those more interesting than they needed to be. Oh, we got good RNG here. So this is the Piss Your Pants RNG. Basically, it's random how those 5 will fall back down from the fire pillars. And that's the fastest it can go, where they just all in a line go down. But it's also the scariest because you could die from obviously having to do that big roll, as opposed to some of the slower ones where it's not a big deal. You can pretty casually just jump from one to the other. All right, so time's going to be coming up here, hopefully within the next, 20 seconds. Just need to get this hit and then 3 actual pogos on him. Okay, so once again, we're going to be up. Need to deaden myself and jump, pogo, jump, pogo. Last hit, jump, pogo. Time. Okay. Cool.
Your time was 1:41:30.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Yeah, we kind of ran up the time a little bit because I was trying to show off a few tricks here and there, and obviously re-entering Tornado-Do 3 times. We almost got it, though. That's how insane that was. But, yeah, that definitely adds a lot of time. You can see the load times are pretty bad in this game, so exiting and re-entering a level adds a lot of time, but that's okay. So, anyways, guys, I want to thank you guys. Thank you to Smash the Record for bringing me out here, getting to run this awesome game. It's an amazing speed game. Again, there are time attacks built into all the individual levels that everybody can try out. Even if you don't want to do a full game run, try those out. I know a lot of people who have. We have the Dong Closet. We are the Tropical Freeze speedrunning Discord. If you guys want to learn anything about this game, it's a ton of fun. It's a very rewarding speed game. So, yeah. Thank you to everyone watching, and get hyped for more awesome runs coming up after this at Smash the Record 2016.
All right, that was Spike Vegeta. Follow my twitch.tv/SpikeVegeta. I'm sure his stream is great.